All right, we're back with Jim Vervoort.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us.
Yes. So, what is the name of your company?
Gary's Premium Cocktails.
Okay. So when was it started, and who was it started by? And
Well, my
why
dad
was it
is
started?
Gary.
Your dad's Gary. Okay.
As you know, he started decades ago making old-fashioned mixes. So then,
Making old fashions or making old fashioned mixes?
probably like 50 years ago making old-fashioned.
Okay.
But, decades ago making the mix.
Sure.
So him and Mom would just mess around in the kitchen making old-fashioned mixes. He wasn't satisfied with the other mixes that were on the market. So.
Sure.
Just for fun, they started making their own thing.
Okay.
Then, because friends and family were requesting that he would make it for him, he talked to my cousin, who's now passed, God rest his soul, Troy, who owned Kerrigan Brothers.
Okay,
And we started making our old-fashioned mix there for retail.
Okay.
So when Dad decided, we found out at a family wedding, actually, he's like, I'm selling the business. We're like, okay, what about
Surprise,
us, right?
huh? Yeah, right,
So
right.
He had like 19 locations he was self-distributing to at that time.
Okay.
And we said, well...
So he didn't trust you then? Is that what it was?
I think he thought we had enough going on in our careers. We all had our day jobs. And so he gave us 3 days to figure out if we wanted to buy it. And we decided we're going to give it a shot and buy it.
Okay.
So we bought it from Dad 7 years ago.
Okay.
And then he had 19 retail locations. We're now in just right around 2,000 locations between on-premise and off-premise locations.
Wow.
Of course, our favorite is Jacob's Meat Market.
Of course.
So what we did then is we decided, we took Dad's original recipe. It was too much for us, obviously, to keep bottling at Kerrigan's ourselves.
Sure.
So we found a co-packer who uses his recipe. Then we also developed a classic muddled old-fashioned mix recipe.
Okay.
And then we thought we wanted to expand again, so we came up with 2 Bloody Mary mixes, both a regular and a spicy Bloody Mary mix.
Okay. So what is the difference between the classic muddled? People that maybe are watching, they maybe don't live in Wisconsin or have heard of Wisconsin, really.
Yeah.
So an old-fashioned is a very Wisconsin supper clubby thing. Can you kind of explain what an old-fashioned is? I know the ingredients, but some of our viewers might not.
So an old-fashioned, the first old-fashions were actually made in New York, and they had a cinnamon base then. They actually had a cinnamon stick in them. So it's a sweeter cocktail that has bitters in it, and then you add your whiskey or brandy typically, and then a wash on top, so it's sweeter or sour.
Okay.
So our original old-fashioned mix had that cinnamon stick in it, so it has a cinnamon taste. Now, some people are averse to cinnamon. You either like it or don't like it. So people were asking us to make a muddled old-fashioned like you'd get in a supper club. So you take a sugar cube and an orange, maybe a cherry, and mash it up with bitters, and then add your booze and your wash to the top.
Sure.
So we wanted to make that easy for people where they didn't have to go through the process of muddling and put it in a bottle. So now we're seeing supper clubs, restaurants, bars. We're in 1,000 off-premise location or on-premise locations. So that's your restaurants, your bars, and that. Okay. What it does is it makes it easy for them too. They don't have to go through the process of muddling. Makes it quicker. The same drink every time.
Right.
So we're having a really. We didn't think it would be as easy as it is for us to sell that because everyone has the best old-fashioned, right? Well, we're showing that. We probably do.
Yeah, right. So what is your favorite? The classic muddled or the original?
I like the muddled.
Muddled? Okay. Okay. Is there a huge difference in flavor?
There is. I mean, one has a real cinnamon backbone and the other one tastes more like you muddled it with an orange.
Sure.
I'd say the muddled one is sweeter.
Okay. So. That's probably why I like that one. I honestly have only had the classic muddled because it's really, really good every single time, and I don't have to worry about, is this one taste different, and it doesn't really matter because I know that I like that one.
And as far as the sales, I mean, they're almost 50-50 now.
Oh, really?
And we came out with the muddled, years after the original.
Sure.
And it's catching way up.
Wow.
So we're now sold in 13 different states, 1,000 retail locations, and then 1,000, bars and restaurants and stuff like that.
Wow.
Too.
So you distribute outside of Wisconsin then?
Correct. So our main distributor is in Wisconsin. That's Badger Liquor.
Okay.
But then we drop ship we ended up getting in Walmart, which was big for us. Hy-Vee, we drop ship to them, and then they distribute it through their channels to other states.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and we've also sold, we have a big presence on Amazon, so we've sold in every state in 5 countries. I think it's like a startup.
Startup, Amazon? Okay. Doing pretty well. So you sell at all of these locations as well as Jacob's Meat Market. Are there some other locations in Appleton that you would like to mention that you sell to?
Yeah,
you're in Festival. We're in
Festival.
Woodman's, I'm assuming.
Woodman's.
Okay.
Other small locations, Nemo's, for example.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard not to find us if you're in Wisconsin.
Sure.
Really. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have a favorite grocery store that doesn't have us, ask them for it.
Just mention it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is new with Gary's Premium Cocktails?
So those are our main backbone. We are looking to dabble into the ready-to-drink. To make it easier for people, just open a can and drink. We've been working on that for a while.
Sure.
We won't do it until it's perfect, though. I mean, we've had some experimentation into making a old-fashioned in a can, and it just doesn't come out like we want, so we're not going to release it. So I think we're closer to getting to the ready-to-drink stuff, and we'll let you know when we do.
That's probably a different licensing, I'm assuming, because you're adding alcohol to it. Is it? Okay.
It is completely
So it's probably
separate.
a lot harder. You know, you're going up against Smirnoff and all those larger names that have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're looking to make it malt-based, so that's so you don't have the alcohol license. You have a beer license, actually, a brewer's license.
Sure. Okay.
So, but we've got all that licensing done. We're just looking to make the product perfect before we release it.
Okay. Okay. So also, I noticed in the last couple, was it weeks, months, years, that you guys have taken this product line on here?
Right. So 2021, we.
You didn't have enough to do with the cocktails, so you expanded.
Yeah. So like this is our bourbon barrel aged coffee. So I actually aged the green beans in bourbon barrels.
You put green beans in there?
Yeah, green coffee beans.
Oh, coffee beans. Oh, okay, not green beans. Okay, okay.
No, green coffee beans. And then we aged that for 6 weeks. And then our friends at New Morning Coffee Roasters right in Appleton here, they roast them for it and grind them and put them in bags that we have here, which we're really happy with. And like you said, we needed more to do.
Right.
You know, my fiance said, when are you going to find time to do that? And I said, well, I don't really do anything between midnight and 6.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. But do you have to be 21 to buy the?
You do not.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
You don't have to be 21 to buy any of our products. The alcohol and content in them is low enough that you don't have to be. So the old-fashioned mixes and the Bloody Mary mixes do contain bitters, which has alcohol in it.
Sure.
But it's at a threshold low enough where it's considered non-alcoholic.
Okay.
So what happened then was Gary's bought Great Lakes Beverage in 2021, December of 2021. And we then partnered with New Morning Coffee Roasters to do some coffee for them retail. Okay. So we sell their coffee to bars, restaurants, healthcare, stuff like that. Okay. But we talked to them about a line to do retail. So Paul Wisniewski, who's one of the owners, went to judge the National Honduran Coffee Championships. And when he was there, he ran across a farm that was completely women-owned and run. Okay. And he was inspired by them. Many of them were victims of domestic abuse because it's a third world country. Sure. And he kind of made a pledge to himself that he was going to come back and do something for them. So what we do is we source the beans exclusively from women-owned farms in Honduras or Central America. Okay. And then we make this Caferis line out of it. So there's a vanilla. Dulce's blend is a medium roast. That's Dulce was the woman who founded that first farm. Okay. And then we have a breakfast blend, which is the light roast. Okay. And then for every bag sold, we donate directly back to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome.
We're really happy for our local partners like you who are carrying this line, because it's Gary's way of a bunch of dudes, you know, who want to give back to something that we believe is important.
Right, you know? Right. And there's the story. The story's on the back.
The story is on the back
of the coffees here, so you can come in and read it.
So we're really looking to get that into more retail locations, but we really appreciate you guys who are out here selling it.
Yeah, and we sell a fair amount of it, and I think a lot of people are supporting the cause, and they really feel good when they're when they're buying it and when they're drinking it too.
Well, and the coffee's fantastic. New Morning does a great job with it, and you're going to have your morning cup of coffee. It may as well be coffee with a cause.
Right.
You know?
Coffee with a cause. I like it.
So,
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover yet?
Apples.
Apples. Do you like apples?
I do like apples.
You do? Oh, perfect. Perfect. You look more like an Android guy, but
Oh,
we'll take that. We'll take that. All right. We will be right back. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate
thank
it.
you.